Jury entering.
Thank you. Please be seated. Let the record reflect the vote of our jury as well as the defendant, Mr. Demons, Demons counsel, his assistant state attorneys, and one of our witnesses, Ms. Jury. Madam, I just want to remind you, you remain under oath. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I trust you all had a good night. We're going to start now, I think, with the cross-examination by Mr. Edelstein. If you're ready, you may proceed.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr.
Good morning.
I just have a few questions. You mentioned something about casings.
Yes, sir.
That you found, I think your exact word was spent casings.
Correct.
What does that mean?
So it's the exterior metal jacket that falls off or protrudes off after the projectile cycles through the firearm.
That is, if you have a bullet, the back end of the bullet, correct?
Correct.
And the reason you tested it for DNA was because there are times where you can get the DNA of a person who puts the bullet into the gun, correct?
That is correct.
And nobody has the same DNA.
That is correct.
You don't know any of the results, but that's why you tested for DNA in the casings, correct?
That is correct.
Now, you also indicated that you went to an apartment. I think it was located at 5700 Toscana Place, apartment 307.
Correct.
You knew before you went in, did you not, that that apartment was rented to Jameson Francois.
I would have to refer to my report, but I don't recall.
Okay. You mentioned, and I'm going to get to it in a second, you mentioned that you went there pursuant to Detective Moretti's request, I believe, correct?
That is correct.
And that he had a warrant to search that residence.
That is correct.
Let me show you. May I approach to show this witness a document?
What is it marked? Is it marked or is it?
It's not marked.
State of objection?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Let me show you. May I approach you? May I show you a document and see if this refreshes your recollection now?
Yes.
Point two.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. Does that refresh your recollection as to whose apartment that was?
Yes, sir.
Whose apartment was it?
Francois.
Jameson Francois.
Jameson Francois.
And you met a young lady by the name of Adria Scott, I believe.
Yes.
That turned out to be his wife, correct?
I'm not 100% sure about the relationship between you.
And you mentioned in Mr. Francois' apartment there was a letter that was addressed to this young man, correct?
That is correct.
And that letter was addressed to this young man at a different address, correct?
I do not recall.
May I approach a witness to see if that refreshes the recollection?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does that refresh your recollection?
Yes, it does.
The letter you found in Mr. Francois' apartment was addressed to this young man at a completely different address, correct?
That is correct.
You also found in Mr. Francois' apartment a storage key, right?
Yes.
And some ammunition, correct?
Correct.
.40 caliber ammunition.
Correct.
As a result of finding this key to the storage unit, you eventually went to that storage unit to search, correct?
Correct.
And that storage unit was owned or rented to Francois and Jameson Francois and his wife, Scott, correct?
That is correct.
In that storage room owned by Mr. Francois and his wife, you found, did you not, 3 holsters?
That is correct.
You found some gun locks in there?
That is correct.
Did you find any guns in the storage unit that was owned by Mr. Francois?
No.
Do you know if anyone questioned Mr. Francois where the guns were?
I wouldn't know that.
That's not your job.
Correct.
Can I have one moment, John?
Yes, sir.
And did I hear you correctly that you are in the Navy?
I work for the Naval Criminal Investigative Service.
Okay. Are you part of the military?
No, I'm not.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Counsel, thank you. Is there anything further? Are we ready?
Investigator Curry, you mentioned you found some holsters.
Yes.
With regards to the holsters, was there a back strap included?
Yes, there was.
What type of back strap was it?
I would need to refresh my memory.
We're looking at your property receipt of the recovered items. I'll refresh your memory.
Yes.
Has your memory been refreshed?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Looking at the property receipt, I'll ask you again, what type of back straps were found?
Rock.
Nothing further.
This witness excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You may step down, ma'am. You're excused.